This is an introduction to negative numbers. And negative numbers are also called directed numbers. And they're called directed numbers because if you think of a number line, they have a direction on the number line. So while in the positive we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, in the negative direction we have -1, -2, -3, -4, and -5, and so on. Directed numbers are useful in certain situations. So let's think about the weather, for example. It might be -5 degrees Celsius one day. So we know that it's below 0. And that's useful because water's freezing point is 0 degrees. So then we've got a Nullpunkt, or a 0 point on our scale. Let's say on Tuesday it's 3 degrees Celsius. So we've got a cold winter's day in Denmark and it's 3 degrees. Then on Wednesday, the temperature drops by 7 degrees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the temperature is now -4 degrees. So that's one example of when directed numbers or negative numbers are useful. Directed numbers could also be useful in a bank account, for example. Let's say you have $300 in your bank account, but you spend $350. What do you have left? Well, 300 minus 350 leaves you with -$50. But what does that mean, that -$50? Well, that means that you owe the bank $50. So you're in the red. If you live in America, it's called being in the red. And your bank account is in the negative. So let's try doing some questions, some directed numbers questions. If you're going to add two directed numbers with the same sign, so two directed numbers with a negative or two directed numbers with a positive, you just add up the numbers as you normally would, and you give your answer the same sign. So if we have, let's say we've got +5 plus +6. We just add them as we normally would. So 5 plus 6 gives us 11, and because they both have a positive, it's going to be +11. Let's say we have two negative numbers, -7, -4. Or we could say -7 plus -4. If we have -7 plus -4, we just add them as we normally would. So we say 7 plus 4 equals 11. But we know it's a negative because they both have a negative sign. So now you can do some of the first questions. And I'll just give you an example of how to add numbers when the signs are different. So when they have two different signs, find the difference between the numbers and give the answer the sign of the larger number. So let's say we've got positive 17 plus negative 13. Okay, so negative 13 has a direction, and the direction it's moving in is this way down the line. Positive 17 has a direction, and the direction that it's moving in is 17 this way. So we imagine that we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, up to 17. So we've gone up to positive 17 from 0, which is always the starting point, to positive 17. Then we're going to add minus 13. And minus 13 has a direction this way. So we count back from positive 17, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or it's going to be 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, and we go all the way down to positive 4, because the difference between 17 and 13 is 4. So we know the answer is positive 4. Let's do another one. Let's do positive 15 plus negative 14. So we look at them both. Which one's bigger? 15 is bigger. What's the difference between them? 1 is the difference between them. But which sign does it have? Well, the bigger one is 15 and it has a positive sign. So we know it's going to be positive 1. We can also see it on a number line. 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we've got plus 15. Then we're going to travel in the direction of minus 14. So we go back in the negative direction. And we count 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we've gone back 14 spots and we've come to the number positive 1. Okay? But what do you do when you have to subtract a directed number? So let's look at exercise 2.